It's time for a fiesta of the advanced variety. A final hurrah to Final Fantasy V job-based challenges. Emphasis on job-based challenges, okay? Don't panic. Bartz, as the leader, has chosen to also be the Capitan. Bartz is spamming open fire to get Galof and those Tycoon sisters into the party. With the band back together, I've also completed the set of advanced jobs. Cannoneer, Necromancer, Gladiator, and Oracle. All of which are back row okay. I blitzed to the top of the Wind Shrine. Gladiator Lena instantly nailed an elemental attack on Wing Raptor. That's probably setting the stage for the rest of this playthrough. The crystals lend me their power through jobs, but yeah, bud, I'm good this time. Sailing back to Tool, I'm just silently sneaking up on Zark! The strength of the GBA jobs is out in force. I'm just getting a few potions and sailing straight through the Torno Canal. Ferris was knocked out by a stray tentacle, but Wing Raptor always drops a Phoenix down, so that's quickly remedied. These fjords are always flushing me into a whirlpool. Lena flubbed the finisher, but after a couple of open fires from Captain Bartz, Carlobos is blasted off my ship and into the sea. Unfortunately, he's dragging Sildra down with him. What good's a ship that can't sail? I may as well just crash it right here in the ship graveyard. Bartz is continuing to carry the team with open fire, but after the first battle I unlocked Oath and got a dagger drop. Nice, dude. My Oracle is forced to flail, so I snatched it, then continued along uneventfully. Except, oh my god, Ferris is a girl? How did I miss that? The gang smashing skeletons all the way to the sinister Soul Snatcher, Siren. Ghost Galof snaps the team out of it, and we're rolling for initiative. Lena fails finisher again, nice one. Bartz and his cannon continue to crush, and even Ferris is throwing out a Rajiforms from Oath. Useless Oracle Galof landed a hit with the flail, which is more than Gladiator Lena did. One more whiff. Bartz blows Siren's head off with his cannon and I'm out of there. Killing my way down to Carwin for a quick item restock and rest. Now to scale the North Mountain by doing what the GBA jobs do best. Spamming abilities that are tuned for endgame. My party is strong, but it's definitely not unstoppable. Lena ate it on the way to the top. Fortunately, Bartz did come out of that fight learning open fire. Gladiator and Cannoneer are swapping jobs. I now have a Gladiator with a cannon, and a Pirate Captain, also with a cannon. That's fitting because Lena got poison darted right in the eye by Magisa. It's cool. Pirates always wear eye patches. Cannoneer is super strong and cool, but Magisa is one of the very few times that Oracle shines. Oracle Galof's condemning Magisa to death. Her husband's never gonna find out what happened to her. Condemn was so slow to go off that Magisa took out Bartz and Lena. But a win's a win, baby. Hiryu's munching on his grass and using his magical dragon powers to heal Lena. He even popped a new eyeball in. No time for Tycoon detours. I'm flying straight south to warn King Wallace of the imminent dangers of abusing the crystal. Cut it out, you guys. He refused. No, the line is, you got it, dude. King Wallace got knocked out by an elephant on the way to the crystal. An elephant that is one of the few bosses susceptible to Oracle's terrible job ability Condemn. Garula is condemned to death, and now we just play the waiting game. Garula popped, like a grape. But Galof let it go to his head and he condemned the water crystal to death too. The tower's sinking, guys. We're finished. Oh, thank God. Here's Sildra. No! Galof, no! After traveling via teleportation and a very awkward walk over to Karnak while Ferris glared at Galof, I'm arrested for crimes. Disgraced engineer / part-time lawyer Sid convinces the Chancellor to let us go, though. I'm barely level 9 at this point. It's time to perform a Wild Nat grind session to catch up. Open fire and spamming Hoth and praying for Rajiforms to make short work of these knacks. But there are still many groups to kill. So while I'm grinding, why not like the video and subscribe if you're enjoying the content? There are numerous Final Fantasy V videos for you to enjoy on the channel. There's even more if you check out the channel memberships or the Patreon to become one of my blessed Buster boys. Final Fantasy III's solo character just went live as Premium Buster episode 13. One monthly sub of $5 means that's less than 50 cents a video. That sounds like a bargain to me. All of my blessed Buster boys get a special bonus thank you for their continued support of the channel. Thanks, buddy. Now back to the game. After that Nat grind, I'm a substandard level 13. Sid thinks that's pretty unlucky, but I'm feeling good about my chances down in the fire ship. Cannons continue to carry the team to the engine room. How convenient that Lena learned open fire during that trip down. Time to swap again. Galof's the Cannoneer now. You just can't see him. Experienced engineer Queen Karnak unleashes a sentient grease fire with all that engine gunk. I was planning on condemning Liquid Flame to death, but Bartz beat me to it. Open fire connected with an instant death, extinguishing Liquid Flame instantly. Cannoneer really is carrying the team. Open fire is just way more convenient than fishing for finishers from Gladiator. Speaking of, the fire crystal's finished. Not even alien werewolf man Suze can stop it. The fire crystal's power was holding Karnak Castle together. At least it is in Lena's mind. She's the Oracle and she saw that coming, so we'd better trust it. I'm ransacking Karnak Castle for the treasures hidden within. Most notable, of course, is grabbing the main gauche and the elf cape. Both of these pieces of gear offer 25% chance to dodge physical attacks. As a back row cannon enthusiast, I have no need for traditional weapons. Main gauche is our best in slot for my entire party. Except for Oracle, but who cares about him anyways? Trap chest, schmapped chest. I've got the goods and I'm getting gone, after pinching a few extra elixirs. Oh no, a random battle on the way out, what are we gonna do? I'm totally panicking because I only have 4 minutes left. Setting my sights on the sergeant with my cannonballs. There's no Ironclaw fight this time. The remaining knacks are swept up. They're really gonna need a broom to clean up all that dust and debris from the castle exploding. But that's somebody else's problem. Lena sees a book in the future, so I headed south to the ancient library. Black powder and lit matches in the library probably isn't the best idea. Okay, well maybe it actually is, because every single book in here is possessed by demons. Demons like book-based boss Defreet. Okay, it really just doesn't have the same ring to it. Bartz once again instantly wins the battle with an instant death open fire. Never gonna complain about an easy kill on Ifrit after Oracle only. That heavy flag is a real bummer. Just like leveling up to level 15 inside the ancient library is a bummer when a page 64 shows up. At least there were a few survivors from level 5 death. I ran from everything down to the save point and rested with a tent. Now, for the basement-bound Byblos bursting out of a book. Byblos ain't heavy, but his brother is. Lena condemns Byblos to death for all of his transgressions against me in the various SJCs. See you later, nerd. I'm dragging that nerd mid back to Sid so those big brain boys can fix up the fire ship. I've returned to being the captain, and also to my favorite place to tune up, Black Flame Island. Black Flames have extremely high evasion but yield excellent experience, skill, and ability points. Open fire always has 100% accuracy, so I'm blowing them apart with the cannon. Galof quickly learned open fire, so I swapped jobs again. Everyone is capable of using open fire now. After briefly grinding to level 18, I moved on. Carlabos's brother, Crayclaw, takes his revenge by sucking up my second ship the moment I walk into Crescent. Prepare the cheddar biscuits, boys. But first, I made my way to the Chocobo Forest and got a rare drop of a death sickle along the way. Lucky me. Then I captured Bingus, the last black chocobo in existence, and held my head in shame as I told Sid and Mid the bad news about the ship. They just don't care because they've been reading science fiction books in the library. Oracle Lena is intrigued. The desert calls along with the spice melange. You ever play whack-a-mole but like with a cannon? I sure have. Shy Halud didn't know what hit him. King Tycoon gets to play hide and seek in the ruins of Gone. Too bad Len has snorted the spice and knows exactly where he is. Sid and Mid are busy buttering biscuits up in the sky with my new airship. Crayclaw is hanging on for dear life, but gets torn apart by the cannon. Now I'm just gonna fly to Gone to raise the wonky ronky ruins and then back to the big brain boys for the deets. Which involves heading back to Tycoon Meteor for the adamantite. A back row bombardment bonanza ensues, but then I remembered, I can just condemn adamantoids to death. Adamantite clad, the ship can fly higher into the sky, but I chose to power grind on Black Flame Island to set myself up for success. That included grinding to level 29 with a job, Shuffle Kerfuffle. I followed this up by buying 3 angel rings, I just didn't have enough money for all 4. Time for the Ronka Ruins defense batteries. Fly up, spam open fire artillery, kill everything, return to the ancient library for delicious healing slurps. Repeat that process 4 times. Afterwards, the soul cannon emerges from its protective sheath, ready to unload wave cannons all over the place. Not if Finisher has anything to say about it. Oh, it turns out it didn't. Necromancer Lena smashes a Thunder Rod from Karnak to instantly destroy the side launchers. Oracle / Ghost Galof was ulted, you just can't see it. The time for Finisher fishing is over. It's open fire and Thunder Rod smashing all the way to the end. Galof is throwing down Rejuvenates to heal from the gravity-based missiles. Unfortunately for Galof, a 3rd Thunder Rod finishes off the Soul Cannon before a Wave Cannon is ever unleashed. Easy peasy, straight into the wonky ronky ruins. The plan is, open fire everybody. I got a rare Dark Bow drop. I'm getting tons of rare drops and I really just don't need them. Regardless, none of the treasures of the ruins can entice me. I've got my eyes on that slippery serpent Archeoavis. A rotating magic resistance? The cannon doesn't care about that one at all. The whole squad's unloading balls all over the place. A single Breathwing was all that came out before all of the initial forms were blown to smithereens. The smithereens reassembled for one final hurrah, but that final hurrah was nowhere to be seen because 3 open fires later and I'm completely done with Archeoavis. The final crystal's safe and sound thanks to King Tycoon. Cryle, no! Those ball-based aliens are all seeing red, dude. Exdeath explodes out of the crystal from the inside, but that's okay. We didn't need an oracle to see that one coming. Galof has returned to his weird alien world, and I'm left alone to charge up these adamantite crystals. Rapid firing through the Bards' World Tour is simple this time around. The bomb squad at Waltz are synchronously extinguished from a few rod smashes courtesy of my necromancer. Titan at Karnak is evicted via 2 cannonballs straight to that chrome dome. The Chimera Brain is condemned to death by cannonballs. I'm leaving all of this baggage behind in Bards' world. I'm getting a fresh start in Galuf's world. It could definitely have been a fresher start. I'm stuck in a prison cell. Galof busts the gang out the only way that an oracle knows how. Shooting Gilgamesh with a cannonball. Yet another instant kill dodges the dialogue too. The gang's busted out and headed west to freedom. The big bridge battles are a ball-blasting bonanza. Yes, even on Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is quickly shot into phase 2, and even with his dragoon-like jumps and protect, the endless cannonball barrage takes him down with no casualties on my side. After a few wrap-up battles, I'm barrier blasted to a goal. Holy moly, I actually bought some holy waters this time around. Other than that, it was just picking up some of those juicy high potions, and then moving on to scare Mr. Mogul. The prank's gone horribly wrong, we gotta save him! Salty sailors are shooting their shot at all the enemies in the underwater caves. Except for the Tyrannosaurus, he's getting a phoenix down. Moogle status? Befriended. That friendship propagates to all of the other Moguls of the forest thanks to telepathy. The Moogle treasures are bequeathed to me, and I'm gonna wait beneath the landing zone for Kryle and her Windrake. Flown back to Ball, Galuf's kingly status is revealed. And then it's revealed that the Windrake is dying. Fine, I'll go get the Dragon Grass. Didn't need an oracle to see that one coming. But first, the object darts in the basement must be destroyed. Hellwind is mine. Oh, hang on. Lenda's gotta be the one to finish him off. Okay, now Hellwind is mine. My Black Flame Island grind session was not just for levels. I tactically taught everyone 2 levels of Necromancer's Dark Arts. Open Fire carried me to this point, and I am eternally grateful for that. But now it's competing with Hellwind, and it's just never gonna hold up. With my newfound Dark Power, I entered Kuki Kelb. Bartz can never deny a friendly battle with Kelgar of the Dawn Warriors. Bartz is incapable of holding back, and he knocked Kelgar straight into a flashback. God, the Dawn Warriors are so cool, you guys. Seriously. Kelgar's strength-based gear is getting sidelined this time around. I'm putting on my robes and wizard hats to further boost Hellwind. Gold shields for my Gladiator and Cannoneer are nice gets though. Necromancer's gonna get a poison rod too. Now to tackle Drakenvale, where no one has returned from before, in the easiest way possible. I'm chain casting Hellwind on everything. Lena got a kill on a zombie dragon during this time. That's another necromancy for the spell pool. Evil Mist. Dark Arts spam is incredibly MP intensive, but when your whole team's spamming it, it does lighten the load. I painlessly reached the top save point, then tented for an MP restore. Now I'm prepped for the Dragon Pod. 3 Hellwinds later, and oh yeah, Dragon Pod's not actually heavy. Galof set up an instant death condemn, and I waited. I had to throw out a few Hellwinds whenever the flowers respawned. That is a completely painless victory on the Dragon Pod. Very likely to be a running theme now with party-wide Dark Arts. Oh right, the Dragon Grass, I almost forgot. I killed my way back down to Castle Ball and eventually got back inside. Those guards take their jobs way too seriously. Kryle's nameless Windrake is copying Lena's grass munching. Joke's on him, she's a necromancer, so she's unaffected by the poison. The now zombified Windrake is flying me straight to Sage Guido's cave, which sinks. That stinks, but I'm getting to meet my favorite Dawn Warrior of all time and fellow ship captain, Zayza. I care not for comic relief, Gilgamesh. This is a serious game for serious gamers such as myself. Gilgamesh is getting Hellwinded until Enkidu shows up. Enkidu's 1 white wind heals 1 Hellwind, but more keep on coming. Enkidu's blown away, and then Gilgamesh follows suit. Zayza shows off his submarine subterfuge. It's genius. Hellwind continues to crush everything in the barrier tower, even those Reflect Knights. Necromancy's Dark Arts has barrier penetrating power after all. This trapped chest is super important. Bart's got blowed up by the yellow dragons within, but Hellwind continues to impress. I'm rewarded with the gold hairpin, which halves MP costs. That's going on the Cannoneer. What? At the top of the barrier tower, Interdimensional Maw Atmos appears out of thin air and starts sucking up Galof. Hellwind is taking a backseat to Evil Mist to exploit Atmos' poison weakness. It's so powerful that Atmos doesn't even get Ghost Galof halfway across the battlefield. The antenna's down, then Zayza's down, and I'm down into the submarine. It's no ship, but it's gonna have to do to get into Sage Guido's cave. I have no idea why Sage Guido's cave instills so much anger within me, but it's all over now. I snagged the Guardian branch and set sail for Moor. You still sail in a submarine, right? Moor's got both of my best weapons. A second grabbing of the gauche for physical resistances, and new air knives in the shop. These just so happen to boost air damage. Guess what Hellwind is? I loaded up on some armor upgrades and entered the Forest of Moor. I had to shake a stick at it, but I'm in. Air knife boosted Hellwinds kills everything. Unfortunately, oracles can't equip air knives, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Just when things were starting to get good, Exdeath sets the forest on fire. I will use this as an opportunity to grab my beloved Aegis shield, then wait for the Mogul to dig his way out of the ground, then I'll head inside the hole and wait for the flames to die down. Somehow, the Guardian Tree survived the Inferno, even though it hollowed out all of its insides. I'm attacked by 4, 3 Hellwinds take out the Earth, Fire, and Water crystals easily. The party did tank an Aqua Breath, but that's small potatoes in the grand scheme of things. The final Wind Crystal absorbs wind, who could have guessed? The Oracle has one final chance to shine. It's condemning the Wind Crystal to death, and now, we wait. Pop goes the crystal, and Exdeath just kinda wanders over from off screen. Was he watching that whole fight? Exdeath has a battle to the death versus Galof, but Galuf's been dead for over 30 years. Upon realizing this, the battle's over. Galuf's out of the party, and Kryle's in, complete with some sprite work. She gets equipped with whatever Galof had on, and we're off to Castle Exdeath. They really committed to the death theme here, huh? The usual suspects include the Ice Shield for the non-Aegis shield holder, but not a whole lot else. Air knives and main gauches are unironically my best weapons for the rest of the game. Of course, Hellwind continues to wreck anything that even attempts to stand against me. The only issue I'm coming across is MP consumption, but I've got some ethers for that. If push comes to shove, I can resort to open fire, but that's really not needed because there's 2 convenient campsites on the way up to Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is once again buffeted by relentless Hellwinds. The guy just can't catch a break. Ferris was frogged, but that's not stopping her from unleashing elemental finishers. Gilgamesh very quickly transforms, then equally quickly gets banished to the Shadow Realm by Exdeath. Just gonna go ahead and mosey on back to the save point to heal, and sure, I'll fight one more set of Black Warlocks. A Power Staff drop? Seriously, what is going on? This playthrough must be blessed. Hellwinds caused the floor to freeze, so Exdeath slips sliding into the fight and running right into Ferris. She blocked it. I had hoped for a fast fight with finisher, but it was not meant to be. Hellwind spam it is. Exdeath lashed out with a vacuum wave, but Bart's blocked it. Hellwind spam resumes. Exdeath counters with Gravity 100. He's really just giving this fight away. 3 more Hellwinds, and finally Exdeath landed a basic attack on Bart's. Ferris finally finds a finisher for maximum damage. More Hellwinds, and Lena got Fire 3'd, but that's all she wrote for Exdeath. He's completely blown away. Then the Hellwinds carry me safely across the universe back to Bart's world. Tycoon's Chancellor's absolutely chuffed to see the lost Princess Salsa return. It's a short-lived return, since we're leaving to go get Boko and cross a river, only to fall into a hole. The Antlion attacks, but immediately regrets it as I unleash the Hellwind. Princess Salsa has reverted to Ferris and throws me her rope of hope so I can watch the big fight of Evil Warlock versus Ancient Turtle. Post-match interviews are happening in the Ancient Library. Legendary weapons? I got everything I need, bud. My Desert Destiny continues at the Pyramid. Hellwind spam destroys the Gargoyle Guardians instantly. Inside the Pyramid, I headed into the basement for a second Ice Shield. But more importantly, is I got the Drain Touch Dark Art from that battle. My single Necromancer can now sustain itself in combat. Everyone else is just gonna continue popping pots. What even is going on, man? A rare Lamia's Tiara dropped too. This is insane. Hellwinded my way to the top of the pyramid where I snatch up the second gold hairpin. This is a beautiful compliment to my endless Hellwind spamming strategy. I just barely touched tablet number 1 and that's releasing the evil Bahamut into the world. Hiryu is completely mogged on by Bahamut, so he shows up in the forest with Lena. Too bad Lena was possessed by the scantily clad Melusine. Melusine's clearly been taking some fashion notes from Gootscow. She's got some snake-based clothing on too, but it definitely looks better on her. Ferris immediately lands a flaming finisher for 9,999 damage. I am no longer bothering with barrier-shifting chicanery. Bombs away. Open fire spam landed a confuse on Melusine before she got blown to smithereens. Lena's back in the party, I've got the airship back in my possession, and a substantial part of the merged world is slurped up by Exdeath. But he won't hit me, he's gotta let me keep playing the game after all. The merged world initialization process is as follows. Fly back to Boko, then snag the magic lamp from Mystery Falls. On the way back to my airship, waltz into Kuza for the sealed weapons. Not because I actually want them, but because I need to go inside for the story. Exdeath's soul shows up on the way, and after a lengthy Phoenix down spamming battle, I ensured that Lena collected the kill for the Dark Flare Necromancy. I'm not going to use it. Tablet 1 status, dropped. Weapon 1 is the Sage Staff for my Oracle. Weapon number 2 is the Magus Rod for my Necromancer. Weapon number 3 is the Excalibur for my Gladiator, but that Air Knife is just strictly better. Exdeath releases 3 monsters for my 3 legendary weapons to take on. Back in the sky, I'm headed straight into Phantom Village. I had 50,000 gil, so I purchased exactly 1 pair of Hermes sandals for permanent haste. Then I snagged the Thief Knife in the pub and caught Bingus, eventually. Flying Bingus southbound to the North Desert to grind my sweet little buns off. Hellwind boosted by the Air Knife instantly kills the Ammonites and Aang Kang groups. This is insanely fast and efficient grinding. That's all thanks to my gold hairpin giving me 50% MP consumption, and my Hermes sandals ensuring that the wearer always goes first. I spent just over an hour here to finish this playthrough strong. Level 45 should be good for now. But I just need more power. I went down to the Phoenix Tower for reflect rings. I had one thief knifer try and steal from Lemure, but killing Parthenopes for the drops also works. Coincidentally, Lena learned Dark Haze from killing Lemure during this grind. Will I use it? No, Hellwind only. I got the reflect rings that I needed. Then I Hellwinded my way out of the desert and flew back to Phantom Village. 3 more Hermes sandals for permanent haste, and some Lamia's tiaras for confusion immunity. And since I have been exclusively spamming Hellwind and will continue to do so for the rest of the game, black robes across the board for more intelligence. The desert grind has granted me insane power. The gargoyles in the island shrine are completely shredded. Not that the last set was difficult either. The island shrine as usual has nothing, so it's straight down to the tablet to face off against Wendigo. No need to play the shell game this time. I will continue to spam Hellwind. Target all damage means frost counters come out, but their damage is low and my HP is pretty high. Ferris is also absorbing frost with her ice shield. Should have put my second ice shield on my cannoneer too. Whoops. Ferris is the last one standing. Still spamming Hellwind. Tablet number 2 is acquired, which unlocks the power. I'm just gonna go up it right away. Gladiator and Cannoneer are up the physical side. Necromancer and Oracle are wrapped up in reflect rings. They're going up the magic side. Physical boys are snatching up the Defender. It's just a beefed up main gauche, and that's getting equipped by the Gladiator immediately for Minotaur. Throwback to back row cannon blasting on Minotaur. Minotaur only physically attacks. He's neutered by virtue of me being in the back row, with parrying weapons and shields. He didn't stand a chance. Omniscience up next, and he also doesn't stand a chance. Reflect rings keep the girls safe as they spam Hellwind. Omniscience weak to wind, by the way. He's done in record time. I've reset my gear and flown into the catapult. Sit and mid upgrade the airship using Zaza's submarine specifications. I'm gonna use that submarine capability to get into the undersea trench right away. One more set of Gargoyle Guardians are completely dusted by Hellwind. Isn't that convenient? I just mastered Oracle, which unlocks Read Ahead. Read Ahead is random encounters massively down, basically encounter none. I ran to the bottom of the undersea trench without seeing a single one. The 3 gremlins appear to guard the tablet. I spammed Hellwind. The gremlin in the back died to petrify, but he quickly came back. The revived Delta attack counter was rejected by the Aegis shield. 2 more Hellwinds killed the front 2 gremlins. Then 1 final Hellwind blasted number 3 before they all revived. Tablet 3 acquired, and I'm racing out of the trench with Raid Ahead. I did do a quick pit stop at Phantom Village for coral rings, then it was straight over to Isty Falls via underwater tunnels. The last set of gargoyles were done in with a single Hellwind. Perfect petrification at play. Raid Ahead also let me get through Isty Falls without a single encounter. I picked up the Aegis shield for my Gladiator and then grabbed the 4th and final tablet. Huh? No boss. Oh no, not red guy! Leviathan quickly swooshes in and swallows him up in one gulp. I guess I'll fight him. Hellwind spam resumes on Leviathan, except Kryl still got Rita head on, so she's giving him the Sage Staff. Coral Rings absorb tidal waves, Leviathan's only really scary attack, so this fight is also completely free. That cleans up the merged world. Well, mostly. I don't need Odin or Bahamut since I'm not using Summoner, and I can't use Mime, so I'm just headed straight into the Interdimensional Rift. Read Ahead is rapidly becoming my favorite ability. I just ran through the rift grabbing all of the relevant chests. These are mostly just a couple of elixirs on the way to the first boss. Big crystal enthusiast Califisteri. Her gimmick is casting buffs. Most notable is Reflect. Dark arts are unreflectable. Hellwind spam boosted by the air knife crushes her in a few turns. In the caves, I took the waterfall shortcut, rested to refuel my MP, and went straight for the Apanda. I'm gonna use Hellwind. Apanda realized my strategy and halves my MP with Magic Hammer, then starts throwing out Toad counters. Cryo counters with Condemn Recuperation. This is just a slightly slower way to heal Toad over a Maiden's Kiss. At least it's free. A Panda's other attacks like Drain get blocked by Aegis shields and Confuse whiffs thanks to Lamia's tiaras. A Panda's burned out before he accomplishes anything at all. The Dimension Castle's up next, and so is Azul Magia. If it ain't broke, I'm not gonna fix it. I'm gonna keep spamming Hellwind. The Blue Magic Dark Spark hits Ferris, then Roulette comes out, and also hits Ferris. A single Phoenix down fixes that one. An attempted level 5 death whiffs purely because I'm lucky this time around. I didn't keep track of my levels at all. Azul Magia's really got it out for Ferris. She's tiny now. Cryle can just stay on the recuperation train while everyone else spams Hellwind. Azul Magia has a ton of HP, but clearly it's just not enough. The save point's unlocked, and I'm resting for MP before going after Catastrophe. I actually put Dark Arts on Cryle, so Catastrophe's dying even faster than normal. The opening Evil Eye targeted an Aegis shield, so Petrify whiffed. Catastrophe connected exactly one physical before being blown away by the power of Hellwind. Not a single earthquake in sight. That's like your thing, buddy. Big smooch collected, then I returned to refuel my MP. Afterwards, I entered the throne room to fight Halicarnassus. Ribbit causes party-wide Toad, which causes me to party-wide Maiden's Kiss. Halicarnassus is simply delaying the inevitable. Reverse Polarity has no effect on my strategy of endlessly spamming Hellwind. Halicarnassus throwed a few desperate punches, but he's completely blown away by Hellwind. Now I must employ a single crumb of strategy for Twintania. All that is swapping from Hermes Sandals to party-wide Reflect Rings. Because, psych! My strategy hasn't really changed at all. Hellwind spam works perfectly on Twintania too. He'll occasionally counter with Mega Flare, but it's just reflected back onto himself thanks to my Reflect Rings. 55,000 HP is a lot to cut through, but Twintania did himself in with a Mind Blast. He sucked his own brains out. Read ahead, and my Hermes Sandals are back on as I enter the Crystal Dimension. Gilgamesh stops me, but then he cowers in fear and leaves. He really doesn't want to get hit with even more Hellwinds. Not a single encounter in the Crystal Dimension, except for the battle with the Necrophobe. Unbeatable barriers, huh? The first Hellwind takes out the first two before he's even done talking. One follow-up kills the remainders. God, Petrify is good in this battle. Flash me all you like, Necrophobe. It won't stop the Hellwind. Necrophobe is weak to all elements, and that includes air. I'm slamming him with 6,000 to 8,500 damage Hellwinds. The Oracle's a little weaker just because she doesn't have an air knife. Necrophobe lashed out in anger with a basic attack, but Gilgamesh showed up immediately after. Necrophobe isn't even taking damage anymore, so I can only assume that he's already dead, even before Gilgamesh explodes him. I took my final save and restored my MP. Exdeath, I'm coming for ya! Too late, bro, I ripped through the rift in less than 20 minutes. I'm going to allow myself to be trapped within the void, because I need to see the Dawn Warriors reunion tour. Alright, Exdeath, I think you're about to be shocked by my strategy. It's a party-wide Hellwind every turn. Except for Cryle. Cryle will throw out a rejuvenation if Exdeath slugs someone. Somebody like Ferris. Am I witnessing deja vu? It happened again. Exdeath punched Cryle next. Alright bro, if you don't want to use other attacks, I'm not going to either. Hellwind it is. Lena's next on the punch train, I'm shocked. No meteors, no holy, not even a white hole in sight. Exdeath is consumed by the void. I knew that this run was going to be pretty easy, but it's also been insanely lucky too. Neo Exdeath vibrates in, and he knows that his luck's run out. He got one part of his monologue right. He's definitely about to be erased forever. A very traditional 3 rips of the magic lamp ensues. Bahamut, Leviathan, and Zantetsuken comes out to cleave the lady in the back in half. That was just after Exdeath slugged Lena. Bro, you've got other attacks. The lamp's done, time to spam Hellwind. Hellwind is nearly 4,000 damage on every remaining part. Lena the Necromancer is the only one who can't be healed traditionally, so she's engaging her sucking power with Drain Touch. More punches from Exdeath? Seriously, what is going on? Is my game bugged? Neo Exdeath's vibrations finally build up enough static electricity to unleash Almagust. It whiffed Ferris, then everyone else took a fairly standard 1,600 damage. I can deal with that. Lena continues to Drain Touch herself. Kryle's on rejuvenation duty. Bartz and Ferris, the only non-casters, continue to spam the only castable spell I want to use, Hellwind. Ferris ran out of MP, so I juiced her up with an elixir. Then Bartz tanked a vacuum wave, so I may as well refuel him too. I can't take these elixirs with me. I had hoped that I could dodge Grand Cross, but Poison and Petrifying is fine by me. It also didn't even matter, because Ferris's queued up Hellwind killed the final 2 parts. That's Final Fantasy V completely obliterated by the insane power of the Game Boy Advance jobs. Final Fantasy V, only using the GBA jobs, was crushed in 7 hours, 27 minutes, and 53 seconds. Yeah, so the GBA jobs are really good on their own, except for Oracle, but they're even better together. We got a real peanut butter and chocolate scenario here. The GBA jobs all have their own unique quirks and weaknesses, but since all 4 of them were available this time around, any and all bases were covered. First off, the entire party gets to sit in the back row. Then Gladiator and Cannoneer can use shields. 3 of the 4 party members can also hold main gauches. That immediately makes the entire party super tanky in the early game. In terms of actual usefulness, Gladiator was kind of the odd man out. I know, I'm shocked too. Finisher is incredibly strong without a doubt, but it's unreliable. In the early game, elemental attack is beyond overkill. Late game, I have other strategies that don't rely on dice rolling. Gladiator's superior weapon options were never relevant thanks to access to the other job's abilities. I guess technically being able to equip the Defender frees up the other 2 main gauches, but we were well into air knife territory at that point. Cannoneer's open fire is way more reliable than Finisher, and it's about equally powerful in the early game. That's thanks to 100% accuracy, high damage, and potential statuses on low HP early game targets. Not to mention instant death firing off like crazy. Open fire is the first ability Cannoneer learns, and while it is 50 ability points, I still prioritized learning it on everyone as soon as possible. I had 3 fully fledged Cannoneers by the time I was at Liquid Flame, which made the rest of Bart's world a complete joke. Cannoneer definitely carried the early game. I think I'm constantly underestimating Cannoneer because it's just not as glamorous as Gladiator. I think in the long run it's definitely stronger though. Oracle has a few brief moments to shine with Condemned Doom on a couple of bosses. What's that, Predict? In this economy, the one and only time I was ever going to use Predict was in Oracle only. There is no other scenario where I would willingly subject myself to that nonsense. I had 3 other extremely good abilities to choose from. Why would I try and make Predict happen? It was never gonna happen. Having Rita head on through all of these dungeons feels really good after all of these Final Fantasy V runs. In the late game, Oracle's heal and status curing condemns were kind of useful, but nothing that some items couldn't have solved in a pinch. Yeah, and Dark Arts also exists. Necromancer's weaknesses are tied to the early game. It's mostly being forced to fish for good outcomes from Oath, until you can get Rod Smashing from Karnak. Oath is completely eclipsed by Open Fire and the rare instant kill from Condemn. As soon as you kill exactly 1 object dart in Castle Ball's basement with the Necromancer, the whole game becomes the Dark Arts show. Conveniently, Galuf's world is exactly when Open Fire's power starts to taper off. In a kind of hilarious twist, Dark Arts is actually better as a secondary on a job that's not Necromancer. Gladiator and Cannoneer can both use air knives and shields, so they instantly make better Necromancers than Necromancers. With Dark Arts as a secondary ability, you get all of the benefits without the constant undead effect. You can just play the game traditionally. A party of 4 spamming Hellwind was easily enough to crush the game with like virtually no resistance, surprising nobody. This whole run was mostly a fun formality to cap off the GBA job series. This is actually the 2nd time I did it. The first time I recorded this, I deemed it too boring, so I deleted the entire thing, only to realize that maybe it really was a good idea after all. Let me just find my clown nose and put it on real quick. I still have a little bit of juice left in me for some Final Fantasy V, but I think that's it for any job-based challenges. All future runs are going to be sandwiched in between new and exciting projects, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching Backlog Buster with a special double thank you to my blessed Buster boys. I will catch you all in the next video.